What is up, YouTube? Welcome back for another episode of We Draft Paper, episode 23. Yeah, I'm MTG Flux, and this is what we do here. We draft paper. That is what we do. Um, so for this episode, this deck was pretty good. It was fine. I think it was better for what I performed tonight. I've been on an absolute burner at my FNM games for the past, this whole set of Avatar. But I went 1-3 tonight. I had some really good opponents, and they had some really good decks, and those are the beats. But this pile that we kind of formulated was a lot of fun. There's a lot of cool things to do here, and hope you guys enjoy the video. If you guys do like what we do here, please like, comment, and subscribe. Appreciate any and all of feedback and or acknowledgement. So thank you so much, and I hope you guys enjoyed the video. All right, getting into this next draft. There's 3 full pods of 8. So 16, 24 people drafted on a night. It was a nice turnout. And I was at a pretty strong pod. So my birthday's actually on January 1st. And so as you can see, like for the first pick, we get the Legend of Kyoshi. So that's what we're looking to do here. And but yeah, it was my birthday's on January 1st, and then all my buddies that don't always come out, they came out to play and tonight. So it was a really good group of people, of all my kind of like my crew. But yeah, it was awesome. So we got to do some of those. I had a couple good matchups, and but it was a lot of fun. It's nice when all your friends can come out and just be there and just talk shop and all the things. So here we take the Legend of Kyoshi into Toph. So I'm looking Legend Kyoshi. Its first mode is able to draw amount of cards equal to the creature with the highest power, equal to its power that you own. So like easy draw 4 in a lot of cases and things like that. So that into Toph, because the second saga or the second chapter of the saga of the Kyoshi is to Earthbend X equals the amount of cards in your hand. So, and then it turns and gives lands trample and hexproof when it flips over, which is really strong when you're leaning into the Earthbending thing. So I take Legend Kyoshi into Toph. Toph Earthbend 2. Its power is equal to the amount of counters on lands. And then I took the trap, the snared trap or whatever it is, the -5, -3, over Boomy, which I don't know. I think there was an argument to stay there, but I think taking removal in that spot was actually great. I take Cycle Renewal here, so I'm contemplating with Ozai's Cruelty and Cycle Renewal. But I also think my deck would have been better with like the Zuko's recursion spell. But I think this is super important for this kind of deck to have like the cycle renewal, because what that does is open up lessons and having that out, because there's a lot of nice lessons going on, and this is a huge pickup. Unlucky Cabbage Merchant, just for basically a ramped creature spell, which is like the way it's worded has a lot of play to it, because it makes it a food token, and then you can on turn 3 you can attack with it or you can block with it, and then if they don't kind of play around with what you're trying to do, you can then sack it or basically when you crack your food, you open up that door of when you crack that food, you search a land then put the cabbage merchant in the library. So here, kind of a tough pick. I think Firebending Lessons Premium and Deadly Precision is also really, really good. So I'm trying to decide my second color. I think Wall Top Centuries is really, really good as far as like a nice common late in this pack. But I think Firebending Lessons better. But ultimately, I think Deadly Precision should have been the right pick here. But I I was kind of thinking, so like I know I'm green. I'm pushing green hard, like at some capacity, and I'm also seeing flow through for green as well with the Raucous Audience that I passed on, which also is a great card and would be really good in my deck. But so we stay in this space, kind of keeping that second color open, not providing too much commitment to a second color, but and here I think I take the Saga. The Saga is like really mid. I'm looking at red and just understanding that it's just straight up open. So keeping that in mind, but I'm not really caring about much of these cards. Like the Land Cyclers, like whatever, red's not, I'm not really wanting that in most red decks. But so we take the Saga and trying to stay in our colors and things like that, or committing to green. But now that I got some of these red cards, I'm looking at this dual land. I think the Zuko's whatever, the recursion spell is probably would have been better in my deck. And here I have no inspiration with any of the other cards, so I kind of just cut off the Drake in case like there may be like a lessons route that I take like within the other packs. But I'm feeling good. I got a bomb, I have some Unlucky Cabbage Merchant, which is really, really good. Two drops are so premium, and my deck actually wanted more. I didn't quite get all the two drops that I wanted, because like some of the ones that I picked up, like the Platypus Bear, didn't end up making the deck because I just wasn't really doing that thing ultimately. But I feel fine about this spot just because I know I have some cards that'll just like win me the game. Every time I played Kyoshi, I won tonight. So like that is that. And Black Land Cycler, I'm like, okay, that's a little bit better. We'll see what kind of goes on there. So I'm still waffling between like red and black of what the commitment looks like, but I also have a dual land that touches red, so like there may be some splashing capabilities. I was looking at my splash option, and it was just kind of mid. It wasn't really. I mean, I think I should have probably splashed to be Jund, because I ended up having two of the Yuyan Archers, a Firebending Lesson, a Combustion Technique. Yeah, I think it was a Combustion Technique. And then, which may have just been good enough to try to play Jund. But I opted to just stay in the Golgari space. Deadly Precision's nice little look here. Have a Shrine there as well. Tigerdillo, and then Aang's Iceberg. Really not looking to think about another color. Really trying to stay in the space of Jund, green plus red and or black. I mean, first pick Deadly Precision's fine here. My deck isn't like a super like sack outlet-y kind of deck, but it was fine. Another top here. So I think I do waffle between this pick. What was it between? Yeah, because I still want to keep the like lessons thing. No, I think it's actually the Earth Village Ruffians, and then Toph. So Tundra Tank is okay. I actually haven't been really high on any of the, except for the submersible, any of the vehicles in this set. So here's me changing my mind. I think just Toph's just a better card. And I don't mind having a second copy of it because it still has Earthbend. There's an ETB that does matter. So here's that combustion technique. Here's the green rare lesson that you pick 4 land cards from your deck, reveal them in 2 piles, and the opponent picks a pile that you get to go on. No black cards notably here, so like I'm fine either picking a red or a green card, but I'm just gonna pick the strongest one, which I do think is the combustion technique. Simic land there, and we got Jet. So just prioritizing 2 drops, guys. Like Judy, even in a non-sacking deck, I think is going to be quite strong. So it's going to give me some outs to see cards and things like that. So feeling okay about this. This pack hasn't been good to us, especially since we ended up not playing red. The more I think about it, the more I just wish I would have just splashed for it and went for it. This pick kind of sucked. The Avatar's Destiny is like a super... It's just not good. Like, it can do a thing and be good because what happens is when it gets +1/+1 for each creature card in your graveyard, which... I'm doing a lot of Earthbending, and that's not a lot of creature cards that do hit my graveyard. So it's just not a big bump anyways. But what it does when it dies, you put that aura back in your hand, and then you turn around and mill three cards, or mill cards equal to the creature's power, and then you get to bring a creature back of the cards you milled that way. So not great, but it's hard to pass the cadets here. I mean, Union Archers is also really, really good too, but Deadly Precision, I think, is more of what we're trying to do. I'm just like, well, let's just at least dive into removal, and I don't want to be a lack there short of in that space, and I think that's okay. No, didn't end up doing that, but yep, got some nice green cards coming through late here, which kind of are for commons wise. I think they're, yes, replaceable, but also very, very playable as well. Take them over the Meteor Sword. 2 drops. That's what this set's all about, because there's just not like very many like quality ones out there, so it's like super whatever. Pick your poison, buddy. First round I went up against like a Grixis, like a Zula deck. He also had the Dimir Azula. He had the Rise of Sozin, best rare in the set. It's a board wipe and also just turns into big old nasty business. And then he also had the Fire Nation Drill, which if you've seen my other episodes of We Draft Paper, I get a lot of those out of all these. So pick up a late Badger Mole in that pack. I like Badger Mole. I think especially when I'm kind of already doing Earthbending things, I'm like, okay, so feeling good about that. I think I opt to take a combat trick here. Which I don't believe I play, but I do think combat tricks, especially when you're just creature heavy deck, going to be really, really good. Another Drake, I'm like, oh man. So obviously it's just open at this point. So just opt to maybe play a card that I may play, which would be the Union Archers. Union Archers is, I feel like, a quite good card. Especially 2-drop blocks really trades up really well. So feel good about that. I take the teachings or the green lesson that gets lands and stuff like that. So I know I'm green. Let's just keep green cut. Other red cards were very unexciting. So feeling super mid about these picks, but I know I got some or a bomb, and then some synergies with earthbending stuff going on. So like I felt like this was a very much so a 2-1 deck, but ultimately, didn't quite get there. But that's all right. The games were a lot of fun. Felt really good about last pick, whatever the White Lotus, which is crazy. No mono white people at the table. White was ended up being really open this last pack too. I'm like, did I make the right decision on just colors, on like where I want to be? Ugh. Who knows? Just going a little overview on see where I'm at. I'm like, well, I'm not really as deep into black as I am. Let's see what this last pack kind of holds for me. I'm still like in Jun space. Like, don't know whether I'm red green or I'm green black. So, alt up centuries. You got Suki here. It's not a bad pickup. I probably retrospect should have picked up the secret tunnel. I think the card's just good enough. Even though, but my mind was wrapped around the thought of 3 colors, and I'm like, I just don't want to have like a colorless land be getting away from my fixing. So, but hindsight, looking back on things, I'm like, I should have took it because I ended up just being into colored stuff anyways. And would have been also a nice land to pick up with the green lesson teachings card. Have another trap here. But had the blue, the waterbending ascend, which is not really high on that one. I like the green one and the black one as far as that cycle. So yeah, the black one's just kind of like an engine within itself, which is really good. So have another firebending lesson here, but I think I have a nicer pick here. Yep, the earthbending ascension. So that is really, really good. I mean, gets to fetch a land, earthbend 2, and then when you get 4 counters on it because it has a landfall trigger to get counters on it, it just turns into it just puts 1/1 counters on creatures and gives them trample, which is kind of really important in this deck. I take Omashu City. I do think it was the right pick here. And like I said, I definitely probably should have been in Jun, but that's okay. You get a Trebuchet, so like I'm thinking about earthbending lands attacking into them and triggering Trebuchet seems really, really good. Because those are like replaceable, they turn into replaceable creatures. Pardon me. But we also have another trap here, but I think the Trebuchet just adds another element to this deck. There was a couple games tonight. All my games went to 3. Like we were just kind of like long games, mid-range matches. But there was in my round two. That was a lie. At round two, when I won, I went 2-0 against that guy. He was playing Azorius like flyers and stuff like that. But I had two trebuchets going with like a boulder, and I was just attack like those attacks, and the amount of life that they lost was very, very quick. So that was fun to see that card kind of pop up because I ended up with two trebuchets. Suki, Longfang. Longfang actually, and now that I got the trebuchet, makes me feel like a lot better about Longfang. I think there is an argument for Corrupt Court Official just as a 2-drop, but I think it was still the right pick. I actually didn't see Longfang once in my draft, so or like in my games. So I think it would have been good though, like especially having two trebuchets. So Suki's not even a crazy pick neither. The raucous audience, like that's huge. Gotta have a 2-minute ramp. Give me the 4. Boulder here is nice. So Rocky Rebuke. I'm also have like end up with like 3 traps and a deadly precision too. So like removal ended up being just quite fine. The traps is not by any means good removal, but it's serviceable for what it is. Late sentries here. We take those. Card's great. Yeah, so here we are. This deck was okay. I went 1 and 2 for the night. I believe that it was a 2-1 deck through and through. However, I had a lot of really good games. Round 1, I went against that Grixis pile with a bunch of rares. Just Kyoshi'd them out in the first game, but then couldn't get there in the second and third game against them. 2-0 my next opponent, and then just kind of flooded out and just bad draws in my last matchup against a really good Allies Go Wide deck, which to be Allies Go Wide is probably the best deck in the format. But he curved out really well against me every time, and those are the beats. But yeah, this was a fun night of draft. What matters is drafting with friends and having a good time, and that's what it's all about. And I get the opportunity to do it a lot at my LGS and just socially with my friends anyways. So I like to try to share those moments with you guys and try to inspire some of that. Here is the deck list that we ended up rolling with. It looks like a really good deck. I think the lack of 2-drops is where it hurts most, but all in all is good. Once again, I'm MTG Flux. If you guys like what we do, please like, comment, and subscribe. I'll catch you all later. Peace.